There is no middle ground. No pretty sure. No maybe. No I'll try. It's either faith or it's failure. You can't walk both roads. You cannot build your dream on a foundation of indecision. You must choose. And when you choose with certainty. Faith is not just a feeling, it's a force. It's not something you lean on occasionally. It's something you live by, commit to, and fight for when everything else falls apart. Because here's the truth most people ignore. If you don't move in faith, you will move in fear. And fear, left unchecked, always leads to failure. That's not poetry. It's physics. It's spiritual law. Either you're building the life you believe in, or you're being buried by the life you're avoiding. Have you ever stood on the edge of something powerful? An idea, a calling, a dream, and felt that pulse inside you saying, go? But you hesitated. You waited for a sign. You looked around for permission. You let fear disguise itself as logic and caution. And the longer you waited, the more the dream faded. That's not just hesitation. That's belief breaking down. Because belief, when not acted on, begins to rot. And the stench of that decay becomes your life. The pain of regret isn't just because you failed. It's because you knew you could have won if you had moved with faith. Napoleon Hill taught that faith is the head chemist of the mind. It's what mixes with desire to produce action. It's not empty hoping. It's electrified certainty. And the moment you begin to walk in it, the world starts shifting. Life starts responding. Not instantly, not without struggle, but relentlessly. Because faith isn't rewarded with ease. It's rewarded with growth. And growth is the only true measurement of belief. If your life isn't stretching, your faith isn't real. You don't need comfort. You need conviction. See, there are only two paths: faith or failure. There is no neutral ground, no middle mindset, no in-between belief. You're either building the future you say you want, or you're slowly settling for the one you secretly fear. And that fear, it shows up in your language, in your posture, in your indecision. It creeps into your schedule, your habits, your excuses. It erodes your confidence and blinds your vision. And eventually, you begin to convince yourself that maybe this dream wasn't meant for me. But that's not truth. That's surrender. And surrender without a fight is failure. Failure is not falling down. Failure is staying down. It's not trying and losing. It's hesitating and watching. Failure is pretending to want it, but not committing to it. It's speaking ambition, but living hesitation. It's saying you believe, but acting like you doubt. And that's what most people do. They wear the language of success, but they walk in the habits of fear. That's not faith. That's fantasy. And fantasy without faith is just false comfort, a story you tell yourself to avoid the pain of discipline. But real faith? It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's quiet, fierce, certain. It shows up in the darkness when no one is watching and nothing is working. It shows up in your consistency, in your resilience, in your ability to move forward when every voice says stop. Faith doesn't need evidence to begin. It creates the evidence through persistence, through daily, gritty, thankless action. That's the kind of belief that shapes champions. That's the kind of certainty that builds empires. Not overnight, but over time. And it's not enough to say you believe. You must back your faith with motion. If you say you believe, but don't act, your subconscious knows the truth. And every time you hesitate, you weaken that belief. But every time you move, especially when you're uncertain, you strengthen it. You prove to yourself that you're not a slave to fear. You prove that your dream matters more than your comfort. And eventually, your actions become a mirror that reflects faith, not failure. You must decide to live with certainty, not someday. Now, not when it's convenient, when it's hardest, because that's where transformation lives, in the pressure, in the fire, in the furnace of resistance. Faith that avoids the furnace was never faith. It was fantasy. But when you walk into the heat and say, I still believe, that's when your character is forged. That's when your dream becomes destiny. You will be tested. Life will challenge your faith. You'll be given every reason to pull back, delay, give up. But those aren't signs to stop. They're signals to rise. Every hardship is asking you one thing. Do you still believe? And how you answer doesn't come from your mouth. It comes from your behavior. Do you keep building? Do you keep fighting? Do you keep showing up with fire in your eyes and conviction in your steps? If yes, then your faith is real. And if not, it's time to rebuild it. Rebuild it by recommitting, by declaring your vision out loud and backing it with massive action, by burning the plan B, by refusing to entertain doubt. Because doubt is a weed. It grows fast, chokes the dream, and spreads through inaction. Kill it with execution. Kill it with discipline. Kill it with the decision to move forward whether you feel like it or not. Because feelings are liars. But faith, real faith, creates fact. Your circle matters too. If you surround yourself with doubters, you'll shrink. If you walk with cowards, you'll forget your courage. Build your environment around belief. People who speak life, not fear. People who push you forward when you feel like stopping. Napoleon Hill called it the mastermind, a team of aligned spirits who lift your belief to new levels. If your circle isn't feeding your faith, it's feeding your failure. Choose wisely and beyond your circle, your habits. Habits reveal belief. If you say you believe in greatness, but your habits reflect comfort, you're lying. Real belief lives in your morning routine, your focus, your attention to excellence. It shows up in the way you prepare, the way you recover, the way you speak to yourself when no one's around. It's not about perfection, it's about pursuit. It's about showing up daily, broken or whole, tired or charged, and saying, I'm still all in. Do it with certainty. Whatever you do, speak, build, move, love, lead. Do it like it's already real. Not in delusion, but in decision. Because the world follows conviction. People are drawn to those who walk like they've already won. Like the result is inevitable. That kind of certainty, it's magnetic. It shifts rooms. It commands attention. And more importantly, it commands your own subconscious to obey. The mind obeys consistency. And when your actions align with belief long enough, success is no longer a question. It becomes your new normal. This is the price of certainty, sacrifice. You will have to let go of comfort. You will have to say no to old habits, old circles, old excuses. You'll have to stand alone sometimes, be misunderstood, be mocked, be doubted. But all of that, it's proof you're walking in faith. Because faith that doesn't cost you anything isn't faith. It's convenience. And convenience never changed the world. You were born for something bigger. You were built to do something that scares you. And that fear, it's a compass. It's pointing you toward the place your faith is needed most. Follow it. Lean into it. Stop waiting for perfect timing or absolute certainty. That day won't come. You create certainty by committing, by deciding, by moving when it makes no sense, because your belief makes it necessary. One day, someone will tell your story. They'll say you were crazy. They'll say you were relentless. They'll say you were bold. But more than anything, they'll say you believed. When others stopped, you kept going. When others doubted, you declared. When others paused, you persisted. That's the legacy of faith. That's the impact of certainty. So choose faith or failure. There is no in between. There is no room for half decisions, no more halfway belief, no more part-time purpose. You're either building the life you want or settling for the one you fear. And today, you draw the line, you decide, you move, you commit, and you never turn back. Because when you act with certainty, life responds with reward. Faith commands favor. Faith creates momentum. Faith builds empires, but only when it's real. And real faith doesn't whisper. It roars. It moves mountains. It raises standards. It changes everything. So roar. Move. Building belief. Do it with certainty. Or don't do it at all.